Out here, the desert looks empty, but it isn't. It's a quiet place that hides forgotten human stories in plain sight, waiting for one lucky mistake. Most days you find nothing but grit. Then, for 1 second, light hits the right angle and hope appears as a flicker you can't unsee, ever again. It isn't a nugget. It's barely anything, just a few bright grains. But in a boomtown mind, that's not small. That's the beginning for everyone. News travels faster than water in the desert. By the time the day ends, a town appears built from canvas, boards, and pure belief almost overnight. Out here, a rumor becomes a road. People follow it with empty pockets and full imagination because the next bend might be the one that changes everything for good. Gila City isn't built, it's assembled. Canvas walls, plank counters, and borrowed nails. A place that looks so clearly temporary because it is. Before the gold even proves itself, the town sells the dream. Tools, food, boots, and luck priced like tomorrow is guaranteed to you. Everybody wants a piece of the ground, a stake, a line in the dirt, and suddenly strangers act like they own a future that hasn't happened yet at all. In a desert boomtown, gold isn't the first problem water is. Every sip has a price, and every day begins with the question, how long will this last out here? At night, Gila City looks almost peaceful. Lanterns turn canvas into gold-colored walls, and everyone talks like tomorrow will be the day the ground finally gives in for once. The town wakes to the same rhythm metal on stone, breath on dust. Every strike is a prayer disguised as hard work, all day. Directions here aren't printed. They're whispered. A bend in the wash, a rock shaped like a tooth, maps drawn on memory and desperation everywhere else. In a boomtown, names arrive before buildings do. Everyone becomes the lucky one, the expert, the man with a claim, until the desert decides otherwise, quite soon. Even in a town that might vanish tomorrow, people try to look like they belong. A haircut, a shave, small rituals that pretend this place is actually permanent. There's always a place to celebrate, no matter how fragile the town. Under canvas and lanterns, the dream tastes real for a few hours at least. A letter arrives like proof that the world still exists beyond the tents. Words from home make people believe this gamble will somehow make sense in time. In the beginning, everyone buys like success is certain. Then the shelves thin out, prices climb, and the dream starts charging interest too fast. The desert doesn't celebrate your plans. It just turns up the heat day after day, until ambition feels heavy as a stone in your chest. So heavy. In a town built overnight, sickness arrives just as fast. There's no real clinic, only tired hands trying to keep people standing, each day. Some days the payoff is almost nothing, just dust and a few bright specks. Enough to keep you going, not enough to change your life for good. In boomtowns, a scale can feel like a judge. One careful measure decides whether you're rich or just tired right now. When the ground won't pay, people bet on each other. In Gila City, tomorrow becomes a game you can lose in one breath, so easily. Every rush attracts sellers of certainty machines, maps, shortcuts, anything that promises to turn a hard week into an easy fortune right away. Then it starts quietly. One tent goes empty, one campfire stays cold, and the town's confidence thins like smoke so quickly. The wash goes quiet. The same bends that promised everything now offer only silence and the sound of sand reclaiming what people left behind at last. When luck fades, everything costs more food, water, tools, time, and suddenly, the town feels less like a promise and more like a trap, right here. Hope makes people generous. Hunger makes them sharp. In a town like this, arguments rise with the dust fast, hot, and hard to stop once started. And then the desert reminds everyone who's in charge. One hard wind can turn a town into loose fabric and flying sand in seconds. After a storm, the town looks older than it is. Sand fills the streets, knocks down pride, and leaves everyone counting what they can still carry for survival. Some people keep trying one last pan, one last bucket. Not because they're sure, but because quitting feels like admitting the desert was right all along. When the math stops working, the town begins to fold literally. Dreams get rolled up, tied tight, and carried away like ordinary cargo at dawn. You can feel the moment a boomtown turns. Wagons face outward, not in, and the next big thing becomes somewhere else, far away. When people leave, the town doesn't collapse all at once. It simply spreads out empty space, expanding like a quiet announcement for everyone. A cold fire tells the truth faster than any rumor. Someone ate here, warmed their hands, and decided not to stay any longer. In a true rush, people carry what matters and abandon what doesn't. Leftovers like these are the desert's way of keeping receipts on file. Even the signs lose their meaning. When the promise is gone, what's left is just wood, nails, and a town-shaped absence in silence. Once the crowd disappears, the town becomes an echo. Every flap of canvas sounds louder because there's no one left to drown it out at all. Boomtown business ends the same way it begins fast. One last trade, one last handshake, and the shop folds up like it was never here to begin. At the end of a rush, the road becomes the strongest thing in town. It pulls people away, one by one, until nothing is left but distance behind you. People wait for signs, rain, luck, a new strike. But the desert doesn't negotiate. Most of the time, it simply stays dry out there. The town doesn't leave cleanly. It frays. Canvas tears, poles lean, and the place turns into a graveyard of plans that couldn't survive the heat for long. After the voices fade, small sounds take over. A can tapping metal, a spoon swinging like the town is trying to speak with whatever it has left right now. In a place like Gila City, even evidence disappears. The wind edits the ground, erasing footsteps until the desert looks like it was never touched at all. This is what a boomtown leaves behind: structures that never became places. A doorway to nowhere, built for a future that never arrived in full. Boomtowns keep records like they'll last forever. Sales, debts, promises. Then the wind arrives, and the accounting turns into paper and sand, all together. Not everyone here was chasing glory. Some were chasing a chance, and when they left, the smallest things stayed quiet proof that life tried to happen for once. You can read the town and its leftovers: cheap nails, hurried knots, rough boards, everything built fast, because everyone believed they wouldn't need it for long at all. The main street doesn't stay a street for long. The desert pours itself back in, softly, patiently, until the town becomes just a memory of lines and sand, all alone. Gila City becomes something strange, a name without a place. You can stand where it was and still feel like you're too late right now. Different people came for different reasons, but the same hope lived in all of them. That one good day could rewrite an entire life for good. The walls were never meant to last. Canvas keeps out almost nothing, not the wind, not the rumors, not the fear that luck is running out so fast. In a boomtown, information is oxygen. People don't just listen, they feed on news, because the next sentence might be the difference between staying and leaving right then. Every rush has its false dawn, one big find that turns out thin. The crowd leans in and then backs away, pretending they never believed at first. Leaving doesn't happen with a speech. It happens in the shade, counting water, counting coins, and realizing the desert is winning right now. When a town starts to die, even the hardware goes back into pockets. People pull nails like they're pulling out the last reason to stay for good. The loudest moment is when the noise is gone. A place that used to sing and shout becomes a patch of dark, and you realize the party was never permanent at all. When everything else is gone, the desert keeps the bones, posts, frames, broken lines that mark where people tried to build a future in a hurry, just once. Sometimes what remains is almost delicate glass, ash, a sparkle that isn't gold. The leftovers of celebration buried the morning after, so quietly. You don't need ruins of stone to read the past. A boomtown leaves scraps, little clues that say, people came fast and left faster than planned. The land forgets slowly, but it does forget. Given enough wind and sun, even a town built from pure effort becomes just another quiet stretch of desert once more. In the heat, the ground plays tricks like it's trying to rebuild the town out of air. A ghost street made of shimmer and distance right now. Time out here isn't measured in years. It's measured in rust and sun. Metal thins, edges soften, and the town keeps dissolving, slowly too. Old photos prove it was real, but standing here, you feel the difference. The people are gone, and the desert has edited the scene so completely. If there's a marker at all, it's modest, almost apologetic. Like the land is saying, a town was here, briefly, for now. Gila City doesn't leave buildings behind, it leaves shadows. The kind of shapes you only notice if you already know what you're looking for at first. At the start, you could read it on people's faces belief. Like the desert was about to reward them for simply showing up that day. There's a moment in every rush when the story changes. The same work, the same dust, only now it feels like the answer is no, at last. Gila City was a hurry more than a place built fast, lived fast, abandoned fast. The desert didn't chase it away. It simply waited so patiently. In the end, nobody needs to close the town. The wind does it, smoothing edges, burying scraps, writing a quiet ending across the ground, for free. The desert doesn't applaud your effort. It doesn't punish you either. It simply stays patient, immense, and completely unimpressed by human plans out here. What remains isn't a landmark, it's a feeling. The sudden rise, the sudden fall, and the strange silence after everybody stops believing so completely. Even after the boom is gone, the idea survives. Someone will come again, chasing the same shimmer, because hope is the one thing that never really stays buried anywhere else. The desert is patient in a way people aren't. It can wait out any rush, any promise, any plan, until only the land is speaking again to you. A campfire used to hold the town together, stories, laughter, plans. Now it's just ash, and the story has no one left to tell it any longer. Stand here long enough, and you hear it, the sound of nothing. The quiet that arrives after a boomtown spends all its noise, at last. Boomtowns teach the same lesson every time. You can build a world overnight, but you can't make luck stay for long. Most people don't leave with anger. They leave with a quiet look back, like they're trying to understand how something so loud could disappear so fast, so completely. It's strange what becomes worthless. A few coins, once fought over, now sit in the sand, because when hope is gone, money can't buy it back ever again. You can almost follow the departure by what people dropped. Broken things marking a route like breadcrumbs made of exhaustion for miles. Eventually, the place slips out of conversation, then out of memory. A town that lived on a rumor becomes a spot the map forgot so completely. Out here, time isn't a calendar, it's bleaching. Sun pulls color from everything until the past looks like it was washed clean once more. This is the desert's museum. No walls, no labels, just objects left where they fell, curated by wind and distance for years. The lesson is always available, but people don't come here for lessons. They come for the chance that this time will be different for real. In the end, it starts with something almost invisible, a spark so small you could lose it to a breeze, and yet people will cross deserts for it every time. In places like this, dust becomes a curtain, tiny particles turning light into something you can almost touch right here. A doorway is supposed to lead somewhere. Here, it only frames distance proof the town was real, and proof it didn't stay at all. Gila City runs on desert time, slower, wider, and unforgiving. You don't rush it, you match it, or you leave for good. Gila City is more than a location now. It's a memory of ambition, how fast hope can build a town, and how fast disappointment can erase it so quickly. Maybe this is all it was. One last grain of luck. Enough to prove the rumor, not enough to keep a town alive for long. And then, the desert closes the book. No gates, no goodbye, just wind, sand, and a place that taught the same lesson. Fortune is temporary out here.